Hello everybody, today we are going to be reading chapter 3 of Billy the Bird by Dick King-Smith. I rushed to the window carrying my guinea pig and the cat jumped on the sill and we all three stared out to see Billy flying silently away. Mum and Dad were sitting on the swing seat on the lawn enjoying the evening sunshine. Dad was reading his newspaper, Mum her book. "Oh, help!" I whispered to Lily Leaf. "I hope to goodness they don't look up." "Meow," she said, or that's what it sounded like. Mum didn't notice, but at that very moment, just as Billy went swooping over their heads, Dad took off his glasses to clean them and looked up into the sky while he was doing this. "Gosh," he said to Mum, "did you see that?" "What?" Mum asked. "A blooming great big bird flew over just then." "What was it?" Mum asked. "Couldn't see it properly. I was cleaning my glasses, but it was ever so big." It wasn't, I thought. It was a little bird. Just then Mr. Keylock began to squeal loudly, the squeal which I knew meant, "Come on, I'm starving. For goodness sake, feed me." There she is, with the guinea pig. At this, Mum and Dad looked up and saw us all at Billy's bedroom window. "Is Billy asleep?" Mum called. "Well, no," I said. "Not surprised," said Dad, "considering the row of greedy animals the row that your greedy animal is making." "Come on downstairs now, Mary," said Mum. "I'll be up in a minute to say goodnight to Billy." Help, I thought. What shall I do? But then I saw Billy coming gliding back over the lawn as silently as an owl, while in the evening sky behind him the full moon I could see was already rising. In through the window Billy swooped and onto his bed, and into it. He lay there grinning at us. "That was lovely fun, Mary," he said. "You gave us all an awful fright," I said. Talking to Mum through the window. I looked out of the window. Mum was getting up from the swing seat to come into the house. Quickly, I bent over Billy's bed. "Listen," I said to him. "Listen, Billy, this is important. Mum's coming up to say good night, and we're going to have to tell her that you've been flying. If Dad had had his specs on just now and seen you, he might have had a heart attack." But already my little brother was fast asleep, tired out, I suppose, by his flight. Mum came in. "He's asleep now," I said. "I should hope so," she said, looking at her watch. "I hadn't realised it was so late. Goodness, how time flies." "And that's not the only thing that's been flying," I said to myself. I didn't sleep very well that night. I lay in my bed, thinking of Mum and Dad sleeping soundly in theirs, and Billy in his. Mr. Keylock would be in the land of dreams, dreams of food, of course, and only Lily Leaf would be awake, hunting out in the dark night. Every time I was just dropping off, I started to worry. Should I tell Mum and Dad what Billy had done? I told him we should, but he'd already gone to sleep. I'll tell him again first thing in the morning, I thought. I looked at my watch. 1 o'clock, morning already. I must have slept then because when I looked at my watch again, it was 6:30. People say that if you have to make a big decision, it's best to sleep on it first. Well, I hadn't I? And now I began to feel differently. It looked pretty certain that my little brother could only fly at the time of the full moon, and the next one, my diary said, was not until the 16th of September, 29 days away. No point in telling Mum and Dad yet, was there? Anyway, I didn't want them to worry. I got out of bed and tiptoed along the passage to Billy's room. Gently, I shook him awake. "I've been thinking," I said. "Perhaps we'd better not tell them." Billy rubbed his eyes. "Don't know what you mean," he said. "About you flying." "Flying?" said Billy, yawning. "What do you mean? People can't fly. Only birds can." "But you did. In June and in July and again yesterday evening." "Oh, don't be silly," said Billy. Go away and leave me alone. After my breakfast, I went down to the garden to Mr. Keylock's hutch to give him his. Lilyleaf followed. Look, I said to them both. I wasn't dreaming last night, was I? Billy did fly, didn't he? No doubt about it, said the cat. And Mr. Keylock, you saw him too. Yes, yes, said the guinea pig. And for goodness sake, girl, don't stand there holding that carrot. Give it here. I'm starving. I gave it to him and Lilyleaf, and I watched him pitching into it as if he hadn't been fed for a fortnight. The point is, I said to Lilyleaf, that this morning I was saying to him that perhaps we shouldn't tell Mum and Dad about it, about him flying, I mean, and he didn't seem to know what I was talking about. That figures, Mary, said Lilyleaf. He can only fly on the night of the full moon, and what's more, only then does he know that he is flying. At any other time, he's just an ordinary little boy, quite unaware of his gift that he has. That must be it, I said. Lilyleaf, you are clever. I know, said the cat in her smug way. The guinea pig bolted the last of his carrot and squeaked for more in his greedy way. As he walked back up the garden, Lilyleaf said to me, Better have a look in your diary. Why? I asked. Find out when the next full moon is. I know that, I said, on September the 16th. And what about the other ones this year? Let's see, October the 16th, and then November the 14th, and then December the 14th. There they are walking back up to the garden. I know that Mrs. Long is going to be reading the next chapter, so you can look forward to hearing that tomorrow.